Obviously, the opportunity to play big games late in the season is what it's all about. What you work for, to get these. When you're looking at mid to late November and you're playing in important games, is going to be fun, and hopefully that becomes the norm for our program here as we continue to move forward. We got a great challenge this week with Alabama. They look about one of the best, if not the best, defense in the nation. They do it, how they've always done it. They got great players. They got depth. They rotate a lot of guys through. They're big. They're very physical. They're physical and strong against the run. They can get after the passer with great pass rushers. They got a great size in the secondary and can cover you really well in the secondary. So really a complete defense and going to be a great challenge for us. And the other side of the ball, just as much talent. Their quarterback, I think, has the highest passer rating in the league. They have the top wide receiver in the country, and Amari Cooper. You look at the running backs they roll through there. I mean, they're 5 deep, 5-star running backs probably coming at you. And with Yeldon probably one of the top tailbacks, if not the top tailback in the league. So the top-rated passer and the top receiver and the top running back is a pretty good combination with an enormous offensive line that they play with. Great players on special teams that are threats. I look at it, they probably have more 5-star players sitting on the bench that can't get a rep on their team than we have on our entire roster. So, they got more of those guys sitting on the bench than we have on our team. So, great challenge for us with a lot of talent that they have. We're going to have to come out. Going to be a great environment, tough place to go play at Alabama. And, our guys are going to have to come out, play well, and execute at a very, very high level.
Questions?
Coach, the last couple games, and he kind of joked about with me. He told David Turner's the best coaching decision of his life. Chris Jones, when you guys moved him to defensive end, what have you seen from Chris since he's been in that spot on a regular basis?
Well, he's done a good job for us. Added depth there to us and added size, especially you're playing big physical teams. It allows us to put more size on the field, on the defensive line as a whole, and. I think he's done a pretty good job out there, with his length and his weight and his size and how stout he can be on the edge.
Dan, we talked about a couple times the turnover margin is probably not where you would want it to be. Are good teams, do statistics really matter with them, or are you worried that some of those numbers are going to come back and bite you guys down the line?
Well, if you continue down the path, they'll get you. Good teams, if you look for us, I think... we've capitalized on turnover margin in some big games. You look at all the important things. You look at turnover margin. You look at the field position battle. You look at red zone scoring on both sides of the ball, percentage of touchdowns when you get in the red zone. I think we've lost a couple of those battles the last couple of weeks and have still found a way to win. So they're not the all-in deciding factor, but I think they certainly can be a huge factor in games. And it's something when you're going to be playing in a big game like we got on Saturday, you're going to have to do a good job at all of those the important statistics in the game of football.
Coach, I know you're all about energy, but is there ever a point in a week like this where maybe you have to rein them in a little bit, like a horse kicking in the starting game?
No, I think our guys, we won. We've had really good energy the last couple weeks of practice. And guys going, it's a long season, and these are young kids. We've been at it now since August or July 30th or whatever, August 1st, whatever day we reported for camp. So these guys have been going at it pretty much every day for quite a long time now. And, so I think you want that energy to stay high, but I think a game like this, the energy is going to be high all week of practice, and I don't really have to worry about it. I think this is a game our guys have been looking forward to.
Their run defense is, I think, the second best in the country, or at least the best in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
With Josh and Dak, how do you game plan to maximize their talents against that defense?
You got to block them. You got to block them, and they're big and physical up front. And but if you're going to have success, you got to block their guys and capitalize when you have opportunities. When you're in a big game like this, you got a view that you might not have every play going to be a huge hit or a big opportunity, but when you have an opportunity to get a big hit, you have to take advantage of it.
How do you try to slow down a guy like Amari Cooper on the outside?
I mean, one, you got to, what you can't do is do the same thing over and over on them because, they'll get it, find out what you're doing, he'll get into a rhythm and go take advantage of you. So you're going to have to change it up, change up the looks, change up the people that are covering them, and get some help to the guys that are covering them. And most importantly is he's going to catch the ball. When he catches it, get him on the ground, because a lot of what he does is, he's really good before the catch, but he's even better after the catch, and so you have to limit the damage to just the catch.
I guess coming into the season, there was a lot of talk about your kickers. They played really well the last couple of weeks, Evan, obviously, and then Logan and Devin. Can you just assess their play, late in the season here?
I thought they've done a good job for us. I always want more. I always want to be better, but I thought they've been very, very consistent in their performance, which that's one of the most important things at that position. They're coming in a skilled position and coming in specific situations. And so we need consistent performance out of them when they get their numbers called. They come into a game, most guys know they're going to play. Devin doesn't know how much he's going to play. Logan doesn't know how much he's going to play. Evan doesn't know how much he's going to play. But they got to be ready for that moment in their, in a 3.5-hour game, their 5 or 6 plays, they got to go be ready for them.
You were talking about Alabama's backfield, and Kenyon Drake's been hurt, obviously, and T.J. Yeldon got banged up. The fact that they are, for them, down a couple backs, do you think that changes their running game at all, or do you expect to see Alabama?
They got more and more and more coming out of there, too, so I think they still got a couple more 5-stars. I don't think the well's going to run dry for them on talent when it comes to it.
You mentioned those 5-stars. Just some people have written a lot about you this season is how you get some of those under-recruited guys and develop them. Mm-hmm. Is this sort of the prime example of your way kind of versus everyone else's way?
I don't know about that. Just 2 programs that how, I think you look at how we've built our program, and I thought we've done a good job building our program here. Obviously, Nick has kind of the model program in the country right now, and because I think as a program, you want to go win consistently. And we want to be competing for championships everywhere, every year. They seem to be a team that's always in that championship discussion every single year, and that's a credit to what type of program he's built. Now, I don't think there's one exact way to build a program, and you got to look at kind of what your school is, and what you are, who you have, who you can recruit, how you can build it, and how you want to design your program. He's done a great job, kind of the model to do that. And, I don't know that's exact model. There's a lot of different ways to do it. So we kind of hopefully are building our program to be a consistent winner like they are.
Deron, you didn't catch a ball last week. Was he more on the Josh Robinson, Justin Malone holding him out, or was it just part of the game? Did they take him out of it? What was
kind of the coverages? I think every game's kind of unique. And, one of the things, I think that's what's made our offense pretty good this year is, if you're going to try to take one guy away, there's other guys that are out there that can beat you. And, so if you're going to try to take someone away, we're going to go to somebody else, and that person's going to have a big day. So I think more of that than anything else.
Do you expect to have Jamion and Justin Malone back available this week?
We do. We expect them both being out of practice 100%. That's that was part of the reason they didn't play last week and meeting with the trainers. Was that those guys, not just would get it back for Saturday, that they'd be able to go through a whole week of practice and get ready to go play. So hopefully that plan worked, and they're ready to go practice this afternoon.
Coach, obviously your team has kind of played with the chip on the shoulder from the beginning and kind of defined the odds of getting to this point. I know it's a coach you like their mindset, how they've been all season, but it seems like almost from a national perspective, even though you're number one, you're kind of going back into that underdog role this weekend again.
So that's what it seems. That's what, I guess in every article you read or everywhere you look, that we're a big underdog going into this game. And we've done that before, and we know that role. We're going to be okay with that. And our guys will, come in and play with great effort, play that chip on our shoulder, and that we try to play with every week, no matter what the rankings or what everybody else is predicting. We want to come in and play that way as a team.
How has Dak matured as a leader and as a quarterback heading into this game? You know, how much more confident are you, or what allows him to be able to excel at this game, maybe compared to last year, or even as a freshman, obviously?
Well, I think his experience, obviously you're going into a hostile environment. He's played on the road in tough environments. That's always tough as a quarterback. And you're communicating, all that stuff, calling plays, getting the cadence and the ball snapped. All of those different things are a challenge when you're on the road. And, that's why it's so important for us, and we stress that our fans give us a home field advantage to make it difficult on the other team. But I think he's been in that situation before, and he's played over there a couple of years ago. He got in the game, and now he's played in big games. So I think for him, just that experience, knowing that he's going to walk on the field with confidence, that he's comfortable in the situation, the moment, not too big for him.
Kind of extending the entire team. I know Josh and Bernard and Kenny played in that game as freshmen too. They've kind of all been in that experience before. How much does that help going into a big game like this?
Well, I think it helps. Not just this year, in games that we've played on the road last year, and that those guys have gotten to play in, and this year, we've been down on, had to play at LSU on a Saturday night, which is a tough place to go play. And so our guys have been in big stadiums with loud, hostile crowds. Kentucky game, they were sold out, and it's probably as big an environment as they've had this year at Kentucky. So our guys handled that situation. So, going on the road, I think for all our guys, they've been in the position before, and so I think that gives you some confidence as a player. You're walking into a big stadium, a hard place to go play with a loud, hostile crowd. The fact that you've been in that position before, you've played in those circumstances before, gives you confidence.
Alabama struggled with dual threat quarterbacks the last couple seasons. Is that something you really want to explain with Dak? You want to keep a balance, or just kind of go with as the game dictates it, what they allow you?
I would say struggle is a relative term, statistically speaking, when you look at them. This even struggling to them might be like
I'm thinking of
a great game for other people. He's a special player, type of deal. There's been other dual threat quarterbacks gone in there, and they've contained them pretty well. So, but I think it's just something in our offense. We're going to need guys like Dak and Josh and all our guys to make plays if we're going to have an opportunity to win. And, when you get in these big games, that's where guys step up and make plays. And this is going to be no different. You talk about in the big games, who's going to make the plays? There's going to be a lot of one-on-one opportunities across the field. Whether it's in the run game, in the pass game, it's blocking up front. Who's going to win? Who's going to make those plays when there's a great opportunity one-on-one to go make something happen?
That it?